Let's talk a bit about something that is usually in the air a lot of time nowadays, and that's about sustainability from an agricultural perspective. So there's a lot of talk about sustainable farming, regenerative agroecology. You manage huge pieces of land, and some of the people who I talk to, they usually say sustainable farming is not efficient enough. What is your take?
It depends. Some of it is, some of it is not. There's some simple things that you can do that make it a little bit more sustainable. Number one, do your soil analysis. Usiweke tu fertilizers sababu umesikia NPK ndio unaekanga at this point. You might not need it, or you might need something different. When you're doing land preparation, you try not to disturb the soil as much as possible. So there are other ways of doing that. That makes sure that the soil is keeping its nutrients in as much as possible. When you harvest, are you plowing back in? If it's the let's say if it's maize, the stalks, are you plowing them back in to make sure that your organic matter in the soil increases? So there's small things that if someone says it's not efficient, maybe they're overthinking it. You get what I'm saying? It's the small things. Don't overuse fertilizer. Recycle as much as you can. Put back into the soil. And again, if you're in a position of privilege, rotate your land. We'll see, ponder the same place over and over and over again. You'll degrade it, you know? So there's most things that you can do to play your part to make sure that you're sustainable. Yeah. Plant trees around your farm. You know, small things that don't even... Sometimes I think people overthink just because it sounds sustainable agriculture. Now, the other thing is organic. Because organic, what you're saying is, it's like giving your kids, not giving them immunizations, right? And saying, no, these things, that's why there's cancer and all these things. Yes, you can trace all these things. But then now what happens is, then your kid becomes susceptible to the different diseases that these things are supposed to cure. In organic agriculture, you're trying to use organic methods of growing this stuff, right? But what happens is, more often than not, the yield drops for organic, right? It's food safe, or human safe, but the yield will drop and stuff. So you have to angalia. From a commercial point, especially in Kenya or in Africa in general, the sad thing is we're not paying a premium for organic foodstuffs. Nikienda kwa soko, mina angalianga bei, unfortunately. So there's going to be so much education that's needed to be able to push the organic conversation. Because otherwise, it's going to become tough. Because we are very price sensitive as a country. You walk into places, you see things, and you're like, how much is this compared to how much is this? Maybe the question I should be asking is, why the price difference? Versus places in Europe and in the US where organic, you're paying top dollar or top, for that. Then it's pushing the conversation. Yeah. Actually, I think, and I don't want to say it's not a fact, but I think the natives or the residents in Europe and in the US actually shy away from things that are not in organic. They ask like iki tu, mimi siwezi ingest.
Yeah, and that's also another perspective to have, because myself, I'm a huge believer in organic farming myself, and the thesis behind it is very simple. What is the alternative? And when you look at the alternative, doesn't sound so great. That's why I look at it from soil health perspective. And this is something a lot of people tend to confuse a lot. When you talk about organic, you mean there's no fertilizers at all, but that's not true, right? Fertility is very important. Of course, organic farmers fertilize their land. They use organic fertilizers, right? It comes to pest control. We are not like leisure free, like pests. You come to our farm and eat everything, right? We know we use some ways to control pests. So I think that's a conversation that needs to be had more. And the best way we can do that is having this kind of conversation, like, hey, what's organic doing? What's conventional doing? And by that, I think we can be able to raise more awareness on that topic as well.